This is the land where more blood has been shed than soil. A city that has been besieged 23 times, attacked 52 times, and completely destroyed twice in history. We are talking about Jerusalem and the surrounding land, known today to the world as Israel and Palestine. For one nation, this land is the Promised Land. For another nation, this is the home where their ancestors have lived for centuries. But this conflict did not begin in 1948. Its roots go back thousands of years, from ancient kingdoms to the streets of London and even to the death camps of Nazi Germany. In this special documentary, we will move beyond emotions and propaganda and examine the reality of this longest and most painful conflict through historical facts alone.
Viewers, welcome once again to World Pulse Channel.
Chapter 2: Ancient History. To understand this conflict, we must go back almost 3,000 years. This land was once the center of the ancient kingdom of Israel. During the time of King David and Solomon, this region reached the height of its power. It was here that the first temple, Solomon's Temple, was built. But history never stands still. In 586 BCE, the Babylonian Empire attacked Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. Centuries later, the Romans arrived. In 70 CE, the Romans crushed the Jewish revolt. Jerusalem was destroyed again, and the Jewish population was largely expelled. This event is called the diaspora, the spreading of a people across the world. For nearly 2,000 years, Jews lived in Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, carrying a single dream, the dream of return to Zion. In the 7th century, a new power emerged: Islam. During the caliphate of Umar ibn al-Khattab, Jerusalem came under Muslim rule. For centuries, Muslims, Christians, and Jews lived together. The Ottoman Empire ruled this land for nearly 400 years, and the region remained relatively peaceful. But by the late 19th century, the world was beginning to change. Chapter 3: The Rise of Zionism. Anti-Jewish sentiment was growing in Europe. From Russia to France, Jews faced discrimination, violence, and massacres. In this environment, Austrian journalist Theodor Herzl proposed the idea of Zionism. The goal was simple: to create a safe and independent homeland for the Jews. And where would this homeland be? In their ancestral land, Palestine. When World War I began, the Ottoman Empire chose to side against Britain. To gain political support from the Jews, Britain issued a historic promise. On November 2, 1917, British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour issued the Balfour Declaration. It officially supported the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Land was promised, by those who did not own it, into those who did not live there. This document would go on to change the course of Middle Eastern history. Chapter 4: World War II, the Holocaust, and Britain's Return. In the 1930s, Adolf Hitler rose to power in Germany. A dark chapter in history followed: the Holocaust. 6 million Jews were killed under Nazi rule. The world trembled. Millions of Jews survived and turned to Palestine in search of refuge. But fear grew among the Palestinian population. Land purchases increased, and the demographic balance began to shift. From 1936 to 1939, Palestinians launched a major revolt against British rule and Jewish immigration. Britain crushed it with force. After World War II, Britain was exhausted economically and militarily. They handed the issue over to the United Nations. In 1947, the UN proposed a partition plan: a Jewish state, an Arab state, Jerusalem as an international city. Jewish leadership accepted the plan, but Arab leadership rejected it, claiming the division was unfair. Chapter 5, 1948, Israel's Creation and Al-Nakba. On the evening of May 14, 1948, in a museum in Tel Aviv, David Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of Israel. Within hours, the United States and the Soviet Union recognized it. The next morning, 5 Arab armies, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon, attacked. The first Arab-Israeli war had begun. Many believed Israel would be wiped out within days, but the outcome was the opposite. After a year-long war, Israel not only survived, but gained more land than allocated by the UN. Over 700,000 Palestinians were forced to flee or were expelled from their homes. They became refugees in neighboring countries. Palestinians call this Al-Nakba, meaning the catastrophe. Even today, millions of Palestinian refugees hold the keys to homes they cannot return to. Chapter 6, The Six-Day War, 1967. By 1967, tensions had risen again. Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser closed the Straits of Tiran to Israeli ships and mobilized troops in the Sinai. War seemed inevitable. On June 5, 1967, Israel launched a preemptive strike. Within hours, the air forces of Egypt, Syria, and Jordan were decimated on the ground. The war lasted only 6 days, but it changed the Middle East forever. Israel captured the West Bank, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, East Jerusalem. For the first time in 2,000 years, Jews reached the Western Wall. But for Muslims and Palestinians, it was a devastating moment. Al-Aqsa Mosque, Islam's first holy site, came under Israeli control. Chapter 7, Intifada, Hamas, and Failed Peace. The occupation sparked resistance. In 1987, Palestinians launched the first Intifada, a popular uprising. During this time, Hamas emerged, adopting armed resistance. In 1993, a ray of hope appeared. The Oslo Accords were signed. Yasser Arafat and Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin shook hands at the White House, raising hopes for peace. The world thought peace might be possible. 2 states, 2 peoples, 1 land. But hope collapsed. Rabin was assassinated by an Israeli extremist. Jewish settlements expanded. Trust broke down. Peace vanished once again into smoke and fire. Chapter 8, The Current Crisis. Today, in the 21st century, the conflict is more complicated than ever. Gaza has become an open-air prison where millions live under blockade. In the West Bank, Israeli settlements continue to expand, dividing Palestinian land into fragments. The cycle of violence repeats. Generations are growing up knowing only conflict. The question remains, can peace ever be achieved, or has history already decided its fate? The question is from you. This land has witnessed conflicts for centuries. Understanding history is the first key to understanding today's issues. In your opinion, what is the most important step toward peace?